We are back for parte dos. We are back. I was waiting to see if that other live was gonna kick through, but it didn't. So yeah. All right. If what I was about to say comes back. Right now, the outcome. Let me clarify that because Saturn is retro. Let me see what is happening. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, and Pluto are retrograde. This, okay. I'm being real this time. I don't play around with people. I don't play around with people because I can see right. It's, a lot of y'all can, but y'all developing that energy. But those of you who can see, you can see, and I know who can see. You're not gonna be like, "Well, I can see." No, the fuck you can't. Because if you could, there's certain things you wouldn't even be doing right now if you could see. So ain't nobody better than anybody. Ain't nobody better than you though. You are who you are. Why is this world card coming out in reverse though? I smell food. The Ten of Wands is here, which is your current situation. Saturn inside. Obstacles and challenges about the truth. Fatima. Feel me? Okay. I don't think people realize, listen, the food, I don't think people realize the type of time we in. Y'all thought that 1% was wealthy because of the materials? Yeah, I got another shit coming. And that's not everybody with the materials that I'm expressing myself about 3 times. So you went around the Monopoly board 3 times, playing yourself. Okay. Anyway, pretty much. Play Monopoly with your life. Pay attention to these games they got out. Okay, pay attention to these games they got out. Why I just heard bop it. What's this world card? Sushi, yogurt with granola. I smell cilantro and shit, like something that's stewed. Phone almost fell. Grab that shit too. It's one thing. These reflexes over here be on point. I feel like I'm about to get the stick for the relay. Stick. Ooh, Ace of Cups, 2 cups. Hold on. Wait a minute. And you got the What's the World card in reverse? Excuse me. It fell right on top of the Five of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands. And these cards are upright. And this is the Seven of Pentacles. Clarify. This is Saturn again. You on your own with this one. Okay. So what is this exactly they're on their own with? Because the Seven of Pentacles is divine timing is at play. The divine timing is taking a nap with Saturn because the world is in reverse, which means there's something coming back from your past that is a major karmic lesson that's coming back from your past. For some of you, this goes back to your nightlife. Some of you are attracted to certain scents. There are certain scents, perfumes, or colognes you're connected to. If you know what they are, right? Do some research on the perfume, the location it comes from, the gematria, any numbers that are associated with that, whatever that you can research about a specific scent that you're connected to. That's what I'm smelling. Yeah. The Pico de Gallo. Because it smells very sazonable. It got some sazon in there. So there's a certain scent. You know what it smells like? $707. You know when you go out and a masculine energy smells like some good herbs and the perfect cologne, but those two together just... This person may not even be your type, but they will be that night because of the smell. So something about a specific perfume and cologne for some of you feminines, this could be a perfume that you used to use and you used to attract a lot of people that you don't use today. And the reason why you don't use it today, it may have something to do with the transitions that you have been experiencing that is causing you to connect to your deeper self, not so much the external self. And the external self got something to do with that scent. But the moment that you uplift that internal aspect of you and you put that scent on top of it, so my page just made a sound and I just looked at Neptune and Gemini. This is 1887 to 1902. So if we're speaking of reincarnation, is a part of yourself possibly still stuck in that time frame? What's interesting is that Neptune in Gemini speaks of a hypnotic way of communicating. Creating a lasting impression on the public. That sounds like scent to me. Because communication, yes, it can be the throat chakra. But I know who I connect to, you have a way of communicating with your nose. There's a lot you get to see about your strength because of what it is that you're smelling and what you approach or what you decide not to approach, because the scent could be that strong. The scent could be that strong that it gravitates you towards it, but you know yourself well enough to say this is not for me at this moment, or the complete opposite where this is something that is for you. Because now the smells are getting stronger as I'm saying this, and so I'm not even. Let me see what this talks about. Yeah, that's Gemini, Neptune and Gemini vibes. 1887 to 1902. And then we got the Emperor. Whew. That's the nose. Aries got a lot to do with the nose, too. The head. Some of you, your authority is guided by what you smell. Then you got the Sun card, Aquarius. Some of you could be connected to an Aquarius in the way that you both realize this. It has something to do with the scent that's around you that you both are familiar with from a different lifetime. And this scent only comes around when you both are around each other. Or when the essence of them come across your thought, or there's a form of communication that happens that brings this energy about that's similar to smelling that scent. Nine of Wands, the wounded healer. Whichever lifetime this was, you may have been the one who has helped emperors in the past life to heal themselves from being poisoned. You're remembering something about this from your past. What is a memory of one of your ancestors that's coming through when it comes to being able to do this? Being able to do this, that means you have access to different herbs and roots that helps you to do the healing that is required when it comes to certain poisons that are literally deadly. Now, this could be a poison that is verbal, physical, or mental. Spiritual, too. Which involves all three, if you ask me. The moon at the bottom of the deck. What's this? Chariot. Which is in a position of your doubts and fears. What's the Chariot then? Hold up. What's the Chariot? This could be a Scorpio or a Sag. For some of you, whatever doubts and fears that you have, is Scorpio and Sag just literally perfectly designed to assist you. They could have a Sun in Sag, Moon in Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Sag, however that fits. Or this could be part of their big three, both of them, 2 out of the 3. Or North Node, South Node. North Node, Sag, South Node, Gem. North Node, Scorpio, South Node, Scorpio. South Node, Taurus. So if you have a South Node in Taurus, that could be a direct point as to who it is that you're connecting to as far as a reincarnation could be concerned. Now remember, a lot of the things that you're seeing as far as like the way YouTube is operating with a lot of spiritualists, or however you want to title it, with anybody who does cards or who's a master of the subconscious mind, that was something that wasn't allowed. There were different types of actions taken if that was being done. So that should already tell you the type of freedom that you have, right? Although freedom is not something that another human being can take from you unless they alter your mind to have you believe so. Everybody was not part of a bloodline that had to do with slavery. That's another misconception. I'm not saying anything about those who are part of that, but not everybody is that because of the color of your skin. Because the color of your skin don't got shit to do with slavery either. If we really get to talking about it, so it's all a choice that one is willing to make that others follow. So if the head honcho of the tribe is feeling like this is the way that we're going to be successful, and if that has to do with somebody else ruling the way you think and do things, then the rest of you gonna do the same shit until there's a rebel within that bloodline that decides, oh wait a minute, no, 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 no. Because apparently the same energy you're praying to, so am I. So how is it that you got control over me? How? Because I allowed you to. I said this shit before too in another lifetime. They didn't like that shit. My ass was they did what they did. But I'm back now. Be nosy if you want to. Because I'm gonna do the shit again. So me and the water had a nice talk. We had a wonderful conversation. And when your boy Bruce Lee, fellow Sage, said, be like water, he was not bullshit. See, people underestimate that. They really underestimate that. Be like water. You can either be soothing if you're like water, or depending on the energy when you feel like your respect is being violated, you can bust right through a dam. You can tear an entire city, country up if you wanted to. Be like water. So, what's an example of being like water? You're going to know what energies you want to be around and what energies you don't want to be around. The moment you allow logic to step into the playing field, water is going to back up. Yep, that's what Rod Hayes said, Ross. Yep, that's exactly what he said. hmm So just be very mindful of what you're doing, what you're saying, what's being said to you, and make sure you have a clear channel and communication with the medium in between your spirit, your purpose, and your body, your presence. Make sure you got a clear communication between the two. Okay. Because the way that came out like that, with the World card in reverse and then the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, it's giving me the vibes of that mutable sign card. Nothing is yet set in stone, although that World card is a Saturn card, which is a Capricorn energy, which has to do with the cardinal sign. the establishment of the beginning. So this is why you got to be very mindful of what it is you feel like you have the authority of, and that's always going to be yourself. No one else or nothing else. Yourself. And your connection to source, and your connection to the universe. So your connection to the universe is knowing which star family you come from. As far as your immortal spirit is concerned, your sun sign. So this is why I say I'm not for everybody. I love all, but I can sense what people are not prepared for. I'm the last person you want to ever argue with, too. There's a lot of people that move like that, too. I'm not going to say I'm the only one like that, but I know myself. I don't know everybody else. That's not my fucking issue. That's not my problem. That's not what I'm here to do. I know me. Okay? And I know what I'm going to allow into this space. Even if that means a lesson. And I'm saying that for y'all to realize that there's certain things that you allow into your space because there's a level of wisdom that you're gaining from the obstacle or challenge it may possibly create for you. Ashe. I come from Antares. Royal Star up in the building, you feel me? Like, this is the most talking I do is on a live. And if you personally know me, you're going to personally realize that I'm very distant from people. Because I don't need to talk. If you really ask me, the words that come out of people's mouths, it shows me the weakness that they have. And there's only a certain amount of energy that I want to put into that. That's not everybody, though. It's not everybody, though. But this is why I stay to myself, because not everybody is prepared for that type of truth. You know what I mean? Top of that, connect to a fucus. I ain't here to talk about me, but I could talk about me if I wanted to, because this is my fucking channel anyway. That's another thing. A lot of you who got channels and you feel like you want to express yourself, just do what you do about yourself. Because people are on your channel because they want to know what you're doing anyway. But they could be a part of you that wants to back up from that because you've had people around you that says, oh, you're always talking about yourself, not realizing that you talking about yourself is basically the Bible that they really should be looking at. If you allow them to. You know what I mean? So just seeing this Scorpio and Sagittarius energy come out, Ophiuchus is in between these two. The galactic center is in between these two. So you have the energy of Pluto, the higher octave of Mars. You become what you desire. When you're speaking of the higher octave of Mars in the sense of Pluto, I desire or I transform, you're becoming what it is that you want, desire, based on who you are. Based on who you are is basically who you decided to transform into from whatever it is that you desired and what you weren't able to attain because you desired something you desired something at one point, you weren't able to attain it, or you may have been able to attain it. But for those of you who desired something weren't able to attain it, this was just showing you more about yourself that you may have to, more than likely, had to aim a little bit higher than that. You were playing this shit small. One thing about the galactic center is going to pull you right to wherever it is, whatever it is that is within you that needs to be changed and realigned to realign. You know what I mean? So Let me see what else comes out here because obviously there's some more messages. That's why I love Jackie Chang. When you be like, I like to see people talk so they can see how full of shit they are. That's my motto. For real, for real. Because when I get to talking, I'm like, oh, oh. Like where I was recently, when you have to activate your card to, you know, enjoy whatever it is that's out there in AC, there's a line. And when people are in groups, they tend to, because they're in that particular group, they tend to go to the teller or the person that's activating the cards all in one group. So somebody told me, "Oh, you can go with this person because y'all together." I said, "No, no, 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 no. See, the person will operate much quicker when there's just one person in front of them." See, the thing with the audacity and people, that shit don't operate with me. I'm also a psychology major. Like I came into this world and I did what the fuck I was supposed to do, but I'm still unorthodox with the shit. You feel me? Okay, so I said, no, no, I'm not gonna go up there with this person because this person will operate a lot quicker and get this line moving faster if they're handling one person at a time. See, a lot of y'all like to take in too much shit at one time that you're not even fucking prepared for. Then humanity wonders why shit the way it is today. Cause y'all want so much shit at one time that y'all can't even handle. You can't even handle yourself. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about me, I got patience. Sometimes that could be one thing that might be detrimental to me is that I might be too patient because it leads me sometimes to a point where I become a straight up warrior. The spiritual warrior is not even together. It's just warrior. Like I'm just going head on to your ass. Other than that, I'm gonna just observe you. But if I say something to you, I promise you're gonna feel that shit. If I have to connect to the moment in time to say something to you, just know I had to bring myself down to a dimension where you can fucking hear me first and foremost. So that in itself, it's like say something smart out your mouth. See what happens. I ain't gonna touch you, but I'm gonna make sure you hear me. That you don't do this shit with nobody else. Because that's where the misconception can come about. Be like, oh, you're a mean person, or you're no, 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 no. I'm not mean. I'm just that one person that you took the same turn that you took where everybody else that had unconditional love, but you ain't get the same effect off of me because I'm gonna let you know about your ass. That's the difference. Because you got to me for a reason. I know that about myself. When you come to me with love, unconditional love, I know I'm supposed to give you more love. But when you come to me with the fuckery, that's gonna be the last time you do that shit with anyone. I promise you that. I don't gotta touch you. Because I've been there, done that before. I've touched people before. I know my life when it comes to that. Come from straight from the concrete jungle. That's all the energy you got around here anyway. Is the energy where you can't people can't even look at you to say hi. This ain't the South. The South Bronx, but this shit ain't the South that you know of where people say hi to you and shit. No, you look at somebody longer than 2 seconds. The fuck is you looking at? That's where I come from. So admiration come through a different way now. So this is what I'm saying. I like to observe and I like to give love to a, I give love to everybody who's giving love to everybody else. But if source tells me walk by this person the way you're supposed to look without you saying what you're about to say, and let them know who's here. I know that energy. A lot of you carry that too. I'm not gonna say a lot of you. Some of you do, because when I say a lot of you, too many people take that shit like a whole different way. That's a different type of 1%. There ain't no percentage of that. Like there is no such thing as a percentage when it comes to that energy I'm talking about. Like a gatekeeper ain't no percent, and there's no percentage to that. That's a different type of life, you know. Some of you know what that feels like. There's major parts of you that you have to sacrifice to realize that you're making a choice to do so. And then when you realize that it's a choice for you to make, it no longer becomes a sacrifice. But for you, it feels different than anybody else that had to experience the same exact life path that you went through, because you see it or perceive it differently. Your mind's eye is operating differently from everybody else. Every single one of us, our mind's eye is operating differently. That is the beauty of life, that our mind's eye can operate differently. It's a beauty, but it can also cause havoc depending on which type of realm you're coming from now, or what your purpose is, depending on where you come from. Because not everybody come into this realm with unconditional love. Some really come into this world to control everybody. I ain't the one. Feel me? So I feel like an unorthodox life is more of a life of unconditional love. That's where the un is going to be connected to, then hey, that's the real you, and not the one y'all be talking about today. So many things play out right in front of our eyes, which is why I say ignorance is not bliss. It's bliss. There's so many things that are playing out right in front of your eyes, right in front of your eyes. And that's the only question I usually have. It's like, man, this is being shown day in and day out when it comes to the medium of technology. The media. The medium of technology is the media. The medium of yourself is your soul. But it took for a spirit to connect to a soul to create the media. And I'm shaking my head like that because it just brought me to the concept of when people tell others that they are not connected to a specific religion that is governing the world. When you decide to be connected to the thing, to the aspect that connect that really and truly governs this galaxy, this universe, not even the world, because the world is a fucking box. I'm talking to somebody who constantly has this back and forth a debate with people who don't see the world the way you do. I waste your time doing that no more. Your actions will speak way louder, 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 way louder. It's like you're a moving earthquake every time you Just observe a situation for what it is, and you keep moving forward. Whatever that was said behind you, when you walk forward, all that shit's being towered. It's a tower going for all of that's behind you. And as you see in a tower car, people are jumping out buildings. There's a lot of things that go on in this world that's based off of rituals. But then you want to tell people who are spiritual, oh, you're doing witchcraft. I'm just doing a craft of multiple ways of going about things, like art, music, dance. Ignorance is not bliss. I tell you this though. If the same Jesus Christ that people talk about in churches came down today, they will be the fuck upset. Because he'll be turning the table on all they shit right now. He first and foremost, okay, a lot of you meditate, you ground yourself by putting your feet in the grass. You circulate your moments in the sun. But here you have people that you may know that you may have disconnected from that could still be affecting your aura subconsciously, that can't tolerate the sun. Or when they put their feet in the grass, they like ew or some shit like that. Meanwhile, the same one that they talking about in the Bible took mud and cured a man from blindness. So what's really going on? Who are y'all really connecting to? If what the spiritual beings are doing has a lot to do with the Christ consciousness, and yeah, I tell them they don't see, this is what I'm here for. To make those people second guess what the fuck they saying. Not even second guess, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Because all you saying is basically repeating what your pastor told you. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yep, it got nothing to do with nothing. Got nothing to do with the universe. Those are the same people that tell you don't be the stars and the this and then that don't mean anything, or astrology don't mean this and don't mean that. People don't believe in horoscopes, but the same ones that don't believe in horoscopes are the same ones that if you look in their chart, they're doing exactly what it is that their chart is saying. But you're still in the age of Pisces, so I get it. You don't believe, which was the age of believing, so you did exactly what the shadow side of the age of Pisces will have you do, not believe. Got it. Okay. Which means you're still connected to the shadow side of the age of Aries. War, discontent, not knowing yourself, not knowing what brings you life. Okay, got it. Okay. Your head is off your shoulders, basically. Makes sense. It makes sense because now we brought logic to the intuition. We made it something practical or material. When we say make sense to something, we made it something that we can touch, see, hear, taste, smell. Probably missed one. Anyway. It's jealousy because they haven't tapped into themselves and they really want to. Yeah, in this age of Aquarius, that shit ain't gonna work either. Too many. There's so many things I see shift for people because they're still in that vibration because it makes sense to them. That's a fact, though. That is a fact. It's what can I say? It's that's just the spirit that's connected to them that makes them feel that way. Words have the power to build up a nation or tear down a nation. Absolutely. Thank you, love. Absolutely. Only because that's what the world, the box that most people were in, perceive words to be as the first language. It's another thing. Let me see what my cards are talking about. What is the message? Let's see. What do you have for the collective? Okay. A wise man is strong and is better than a strong man. And a man of knowledge increases and strengthens his power, his ability to become the strong man. This is a fact. That's a strong proverb now. A wise man is strong and is better than a strong man because a wise man will have the ability to strengthen themselves, the power to strengthen themselves. Then it says here, study the sciences, the stars are aligning you, your natal chart. Selket or Serket is here at this moment, the goddess of the dead, fertility, nature, animals, medicine, magic, and healing venomous stings and bites, restoration from death to life, divine counterpart with the essence of Horus, parents of the essence of Knum and Neith. Then we got Taurus energy popping through here. The goddess of beauty, the house of I have, which is the second house of money and possessions, property. Taurus is also connected to the vibrations of being fierce and gentle. It's connected to the cattle, the bull, Hathor energy coming through here too. So we got Scorpion energy, cattle energy. We got the third quarter, reevaluate, balance, trust. That is coming through here. Yay. Which is located in the constellation of Scorpio. It's the sixth sense activation, Scorpio's heart, the interdimensional bridge, and reactivates soul memory. Highly empathic, intuitive, and intellectual. So if you're connected to this energy, which would be wherever you have a Sagittarius placement at 9 degrees, okay? But this could also connect to you between the dates of the 30th, 29th, 30th to the 4th of December. Now, these could be the time periods where you have this increase in that activation as well. When it comes to reactivating soul memory, okay? It was just 44 on the timer. So when we speak of soul memory, this is this is this is the purest definition of your willpower, your mind, and your emotions. This is why it's also important for a lot of artists to go independent, to express yourself the way you want to. But society knew what it's doing when they made that as one of the things where you can gain a lot of riches, but riches and wealth are two different things now. Riches and wealth are two different things. One is temporary, the other one is generational, long term. The one that's generational, long term, that would be your wealth, which also connects to your health. Because if you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, then what are you really doing it for? And to enjoy the fruits of your labor, that means you would also have the authority of your own willpower, your mind, and your emotions. Okay. Then we have bridge the gap with wise responses or actions. Begin to trust your truth, that of the soul in connection to the cosmos. Let's see what else comes out here. You could be a galactic signature with the moon tone of galactic, which speaks of the power to harmonize through being the model of integrity, being the model of truth. If you have a moon tone when it comes to your galactic signature as galactic moon tone, you are here to model integrity. You are here to model the truth. Obviously, that sounds like it would sound like a challenging journey for someone who's not prepared to embark on that type of journey. But for those of you who are, I'm here to tell you that yeah, you were designed for that, but you may be surrounded by a lot of people who may have pity for you, and that energy might overcome you in a way that you feel like you're having pity for yourself when that's not really who you are. It's just the destiny that you were brought into, aka the family that you were brought into, or the families or the friends you connected to and their families, because of the destiny that you first entered to your family. And until you see all of those lessons and bring it to a full circle, or bring it to a place where you can fully see everything that's going on as the observer, you'll now be able to move forward. So you have the yellow sun galactic signature coming through here. The zone of the enlightened one, the galactic karmic of Pluto. So see what I was just saying? Like, you would be the type of person that inhales a lot of what has been blocking generation after generation from moving forward. Even if you're not a yellow sun galactic signature, if this resonates with you, what I'm saying right now is because you could be that type of energy that literally inhales all of the um, generational wounds to bring the power of universal fire to it. Now, to bring the power of universal fire to generational wounds, that means you're literally here to transmute those wounds into a gift. It takes a very powerful being to do that, because the type of wounds I'm talking about are the same wounds that when it gets to this one specific spot, it's either going to get you to quantum leap or take you right up on out of here. So you're pulling whatever's in the 5D into the 3D. And what I'm getting from this, because some of you have ancestors who have ascended into the 5D, but your spirit comes from a much higher dimension. But your bloodline only resonates with as far as they were able to ascend into. For some, it's the 5D. Now, what is in that 5D for some? It could be the same lessons that they had to overcome in the 3D. That shit is, because the willpower in the 5D is much different. They're different laws. It's really governed by universal laws, where it's more so like, this ain't even a place where you have the time to feel like that there's a savior outside of you. No, you're the savior of yourself. You always been the savior of yourself. But in the 5D, that's more relevant. In the 3D, there's a lot of playing around, a lot of learning, a lot of inspiration that goes on for one to really develop the soul into a different level, because it may have been trapped for ages or generations in the 5D when you belong to a much higher vibration or dimension. Some of you, that's you. Some of you, your grandparents that have passed on, great grandparents that have passed on, you are the reincarnation of them. This is why you're here. This is why you experienced the stuff that you experienced. I'm about to say the shit that you experienced, the mulch that you experienced, so that way you can grow. New moon. We just had a new moon in Virgo. Clean slate, potential, and dream. The fact that the word dreams came about, you're about to, or you may have been, since this new moon in Virgo, have been experiencing entities or entities, like Dr. B would say, that have influenced your bloodline to move in a particular manner. But now you can see it for what it is. And when you can see it for what it is, you're obviously, hopefully, going to take the proper action, so that way the generations that are coming after you don't have to handle this for you. Because if they have to handle it, that means your ass is now waiting in another dimension for them to do something to free your ass for not doing it when you were here. Just saying. And then you got manifesting generator coming out. So you could be a manifesting generator in human design, which means you're here to follow the inner vibrations of joy, because you have the wand and the alchemical process. So it's like, that sounds like extinction to me if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. The wand and the alchemical process. It's like, if you have either or, you can do what you're supposed to do, but don't move like you don't have either one. You can do whatever you want, but obviously cause and effect. What's this? The yellow seed. The power of flowering through the action of targeting through the essence of awareness. The planet you're connected to as a yellow seed solar seal number 4 galactic signature will be Jupiter, connecting to the root chakra. You would be the galactic karmic of Jupiter, the outbreath of Jupiter, the zone of the innocent. So you if you are a yellow seed, you got to make sure you and your inner child are like this. A physical example of you and your inner child being like this is literally watching things that you watched when you were younger, or doing things that you were younger. You may have a tendency to be around a lot of people who may call you childish. And if they call you childish from a point where what you do brings you harm, is because you're searching for that energy to be able to express it around those who actually, celebrate you for being you. But you're also connected to these people to find a balance in that, because there could be certain things that you may have done during your childhood, because you weren't just a child as a child, like you were just fully grown, like you came into this world completely different than everyone else, and it seems like you got kind of locked into what society felt like you should be doing, when you know that you was a creator from jump. The zone of the innocent, the zone of the sun, which also means you carry the secrets of Lemuria and Atlantis. Your initiations are very secretive. So there's a lot that you may want to keep to yourself, but you could be a person that hasn't been doing that, and this is what causes you to be around people who misjudge you. Although you have the most beautiful intent of why you're doing what you do around others, but not everyone is prepared for you to be your natural you. Look at that. Anubis. For Anubis to come out like that, this could even be connected to someone who lost a child as well. Because he guards the dead. And the message I'm getting from that's not going to be, it's not going to resonate with everyone. If you lost a child, is because they may have been on a path that would cause them to not feel loved at all, even with you giving them all the love that you know that they deserve. But it was something, it could have been like an Aquarius child, where the outer world is really important to their being. And I feel like this outer world is being important to their being is because this is something they remembered before they came into this world. They didn't forget where they came from. So a world where unconditional love is not the norm, it wouldn't be the right space for that gem. But just know that child is always with you. Always with you. It's a different being. It's a very powerful being, though. And if you lost a child, if you feel like you lost a child, because again, when you step outside of that world of what death is, you'll hear what I'm saying. That child doesn't feel sorry for you when you're sitting there crying, and it more so connects to you when you're filled with joy. But we're in a realm, or a world within a realm, okay, that views the astral realm differently because being controlled by something completely different. Proof of that is the way the majority observe what the dream world or what the dream realm is. See, I was about to say world, because it's not a box. You have the red earth here, which speaks of navigation, the zone of the navigator, solar prophetic, the in-breath of Uranus. The in-breath of evolutionary space of birth and the rebirth of the human race. That sounds like suffocation, though. Unless you're around a group of people who are aware of their ability to have a rebirth while still being in this physical body. Then we have blossoming justice and abundance, revolutionary spirit awakening to deeply rooted ancient abilities through deeply rooted wounds. You're seeing 2355, 1155 on the time, or the next time you see 1155 or 2355 on the time. Speaks of revolutionary spirit awakening to deeply rooted ancient abilities through deeply rooted wounds. Because a lot of these wounds are more so things that you weren't allowed to do, or you were in the past beaten for. Even if in the past you weren't a human being. For all people know, horses are probably so gentle and patient that they won't tell you get the fuck up off me unless you got a wild ass horse that don't allow you to ride on the ass. Okay? So a wild horse is just one who's free in nature. Like you really gotta train them to be able to have something on their back because they do whatever they want. Not every horse moves the same. Then you have Burkano, the birch. Sanctuary, plant life, mature wisdom, healing, and safety. This reminds me of Snow White, though. Getting to the truth. The most hidden truth is hidden deep within, and only you will ever know it. The most obvious truth is hidden deep within, and only you will ever know it. That when it's expressed to you, it can strike a nerve or trigger people. When a truth that only you know about is expressed to you from something else outside of you, because the alignment has occurred for you to recognize it in your external reality, only you will ever, only you, because it's within you, would know what that truth is. Now, the one who comes to you with it may or may not know the extent as to why you may respond the way you do. Which is also giving me the sense of people are here for a season or a lifetime. Those who have the ability to overstand you, that when they come to you with something that triggers you, because the truth that only you know that is deep within you, and it goes off like an alarm when they express it to you in a way to acknowledge what's within that you've been covering up or sweeping under the rug. And they're only bringing it to your attention so that way you can mature from it, heal, bringing you to a place of safety. Even your enemies do this too. For some of you, your enemies have to do it because people who are not your enemies have been doing it and you stood and listened to them. And we got Libra coming out here. That could be significant. Grab a message from the Orisha deck. What is today? Today's the 29th. Today's Monday. Okay, we can do it. Let's see what the Orisha's got to say. What is the message from the Orisha for the collective? We got the Five of Wands, the Five of Fire, which is Saturn and Leo. So this is definitely speaking of what I was saying before. This is like different challenges you go through to connect to your wisdom or your truth with the Ace of Swords here, followed by the Three of Wands and their shoe. Ooh, okay, okay. So what I'm getting from this, you're a very pure soul that has the ability to connect to lower vibrational entities or lower vibrational. Okay, because you're a very pure soul, in order for you to be anchored into this reality, there's certain low vibrational things you have to do, but your perception of those low vibrational things has to switch. Because it'll only bring you more challenges if you're not operating from it in a way that you know that this is what you do to keep you anchored into this reality, because you can easily rise up on out of here. With the Three of Wands here, the Three of Wands is also connected to the Sun in Aries, your immortal spirit. I'm hearing grandmother, but the way I'm hearing grandmother is more so from a universal aspect, not your grandmother. Because Eshu is also at a crossroads. He's also at the crossroads. He basically smokes and drinks to connect to a lower vibration or to connect to the earthly realm. I'm also getting this message that a lot of you are going through these ascension symptoms because you want to be too perfect. When I say too perfect, your perfection is going according to someone else's reality, not your own. There's a lot of messages that are coming to you in a dream state for you to balance yourself out. You want to focus more on what's coming to you, what you're craving, and what the magical properties of what it is that you're craving are. And you may also figure out what deities are connecting to you at that moment. And you have Medusa. There's something about balancing the seven chakras here, because you also, with this card, I have the serpent wisdom. Yeah, you can't be defeated unless you choose to be. Unless you allow something to defeat you, it will. But you, with serpent wisdom, you right after that is the healer. That's what I'm saying. Divine guidance surrounds you now. I know that's right. You could be seeing 133 or 1033 often, or number 33, 101, 11, or 110. Divine guidance surrounds you now. The chains have been broken. Whoever this is, you're extremely powerful. In the sense that no matter what has been done to you, you don't carry the pain of death. You may not talk much. I don't think you're somebody that talks to people a lot. You don't, because they would think you're crazy. They would think you're bugging out. You know how many times you've been here. You know who you've been here as. Fuck. You move like a cell phone. You move like a cell phone. When it's time to upgrade, you know when to upgrade. So you may have been a loner most of your life. And you know that love is not attachment. So follow the voice of your heart. It could be a Virgo, Pisces, and you could have this in your chart highly aspected too. You analyze everything you believe in. And everything you believe in, you know it has something to do with the destiny you were brought into, the family you were brought into, the friends that you were brought into or you connected with based on the family you were brought into. A lot of you have friends because of the family you were brought into or the family you didn't have. Oh man. Okay. So let me get some more Risha cards. Hold on. You went through a lot of battles with your own dragon, from a serpent to a serpent with wings, which would be a dragon. Mexico is coming across very strongly now. And as this came out, all I heard was leave Mexico alone. A lot has been taken from Mexico, though. plenty. Mm-hmm. Got the earth element right at the bottom. What's that? The two of wands, and what else? The two of wands with the six of swords. Oh yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. They better leave Mexico alone. Let's look at this like a mafia as far as what I said about Mexico just now. When it comes to this mafia lifestyle, there's not one thing you're going to do to mess with the way that things are being operated, right? Because once you do, they come for you. Now, who are they? It ain't something you can see or physically feel. You may physically feel it because emotionally it'll tear that ass up. Now, spiritually, emotionally, tear that ass up. So, that's just for that aspect. As far as in general, with Iku coming up under the Ace of Swords, there's going to be something major that has to end. Something just told me about the reason for sickle cell, whatever that is. And I'm getting the vibes that those of you with sickle cell anemia or traits, either somebody tampered with your bloodline or your bloodline went too far and in the direction they weren't supposed to go. Again, I'm not your doctor. I'm just channeling messages right now. And when I say they went too far in a direction they weren't supposed to go, was allowing themselves to be oppressed. Because you come from a very strong bloodline of directions. When it comes to the power of fire, the power of earth, the power of air, the power of water. See that, right? It's like everything around the structure has been vandalized, per se. But the foundation is still standing, which is you. And then to have the Ace of Swords, this dove right above it, you have a very strong connection to angels, which are the guardians of the heavens. The message of fire comes right out under the Three of Wands. And this is the same, what is that, a chameleon or a lizard? Well, not a lizard, a gecko that you see in the King of Wands. So the depiction of the King of Wands with that lizard at the bottom, or gecko, whatever you want to call it at this time, It literally transforms from that to the King of Wands. That could be like the serpent transforming to the dragon. Some of you have a tendency to do candle work, right? Yeah, big time. Fire element. You have a tendency to do candle work, but that you got to keep up with. But whenever you do this, you're finding yourself stepping into a particular dream state, but you're taking that lightly. There's a lot of information that's coming through to you from that. For some of you, taking it lightly means not writing down what you see. Because when you write down what you see, that's a form of you using your wand. You don't have the same wand you used to use before in another lifetime. Your pencil is your wand. And you haven't been fully writing down your dreams. I'm not saying type them in your phone. I said write them. Different. The more you ignite what you're passionate about from everything that is ending, you're connecting yourself to the keys of greatness. It's a lot of fire here. There's a lot of enlightenment. Some of you are amazing storytellers too. And that's a way for you to take care of yourself, to take care of what you feel like is a necessity in this material world. For you, some of you working too hard rather than smart. See what I should talk about. Que viva Shango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Santa Bárbara bendita. Shango comes up under his shoe. And we got the Two of Wands or the Two of Fire. This speaks of going into different realms now. But there has to be a balance of the higher and lower vibrations. When you're given this great power, you can't be careless with this. Now, if you are a spiritual worker, you have the ability to call in a lot of different people that you can assist, but not everybody is supposed to be working with you or receiving your services. It's a different time here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a whole different frequency we under. Because not everything that you feel is going to help somebody may help them. But you got to have your discernment up to par to realize what that is. Again, that's why I set up my email the way I do. Because it's written. It's written in a specific way. And I can tell where you're at and what you don't need from me at the moment. And how do you know? Because I won't respond to you after the first email. If you really read it, I'm going to respond to you like this. If you didn't, that's the last time you're going to hear from me. You're better off just watching lives. Because the one thing I ask you to do is to wait for a confirmation from my spirit guides and my ancestors that I'm going to move forward with you. And if your response doesn't reflect that, that's a no-no. That's a no-go. Instant no-go. And I've said this plenty of times. You know what I mean? So because what tends to happen if I move forward with that, those are going to be the ones that will be combative during the messages. Whether if it's something that they're not saying, they're going to be combative during the messages. My spirit, my spirit guides, and my ancestors, we ain't here for that shit. If you don't want to hear what we got to say, and you came to me to ask you what the fuck we got to say about you, what you here for? Go ask yourself. Go ask somebody else. Respectfully, go ask somebody else. I ain't gonna tolerate that shit. I'm not. I've done it before. This shit ain't cute. I'm not doing that no more. We ain't doing that no more. This is why I do lives too, though. This is really why I do lives. Because it's collective. Not every message is going to resonate with you, but there could be one thing or one word or a sound that I make that makes you go, oh, I remember. So all I'm here to do is to reactivate your soul memory. That's it. Not the memory of your ego. I will bust your ego's ass. Don't play with me. I don't got time to be playing with nobody's ego. You and your ego can go play somewhere else. It's also considered the sun's energy, but nah, mm-mm, not in that way. Because if you're going to connect it to the sun's energy, that could be experience gained through observation. That'd be a different scenario. You know what I mean? So Shango is on the table. Justice based on feeling, not by sight, but through faith, knowing. Power of thunder and lightning. And the fact that he's coming up on the issue with the trident, which personifies, which connects to, not personifies because not a person, but it connects to Neptune, Pisces energy. This is speaking of the unknown. So faith knowing on a whole different level. It's like you have to know what you know and honor what you know, even if what you know, you are the only one that knows it. So if that means you just knowing yourself to the extent that you know yourself and you are happy with yourself, don't place yourself around people who talk about other people because you feel like you supposed to have people around you. No, if you feel like you're supposed to have people around you and you truly connect, or you got a lot of ethereal people around you. Believe and know this. There's a lot of energy around you, starting with the wind. The fuck? The wind is blowing, you know for sure you ain't out here by yourself. It could be, I don't know. Let me just say it could be 10 people that when you feel the wind, those are 10 people dancing around you. You just can't see them for now. Some of you can though. We ain't gotta get into that though. Just ain't that type of reading. But yes, one more. This is Olumare that's coming through with the rainbow in the building. Ashe. The serpent creator of all. You just look at that. That's at the base of it. I told you, you got the outcast here. Be that outcast. This is also connected to the fool. When some of you realize the depths of you being the outcast in the most beautiful way, there's going to be a lovely combustion that happens similar to an orgasm. Then you got female issue. You got the male issue out here. There's the female one, and we just talked about dancing. What's under her? The Two of Wands. Okay, Mars and Aries. At the top, you got the Three of Earth, more Mars energy. So you got Mars in Aries and Mars in Capricorn. These are both cardinal energies. Mars is a cardinal planet. So whoever you are is the one that's at the forefront. Whoever you tell yourself that you are each and every day that you rise and rest is who you are becoming more and more of. Anytime, Russ. Just continue to be that. Continue to be that outcast, because the outcast just means you're being authentic, and it's unfortunate that it's called being an outcast. But it's going to be fortunate to those who cast out these lies. So continue to cast out these lies. Continue to cast out these lies. And bring an end to all that isn't bringing clarity. Bueno. Communication. Number 9. Some of you could be a part of the tribe of Benjamin. See what I was saying earlier about the scent of smell? That's one thing the wolf has perfection of, or beauty of, the sense of smell. And that sense of smell is also connected to your mind's eye. The halo of your mind's eye. Look at this energy of this mind's eye coming through here. Something about your eyes too. Some of you have ancient eyes. Like you tend to get a lot of compliments about your eyes. 927. What is 920? What's going on 927? Let me see. I got it here. I gotta look over there. $927. Not 927, but 926, the sun is in opposition to Jupiter. Mercury is conjunct Venus. Mercury is trying Pluto. And Mars is trying Saturn. I mean, well, shit. It's a lot. Increased energy levels. Preparation mean opportunity. Opportunities coming through others. So be mindful from here to that point within the next 30 days as to who you're surrounded by, because of opportunities are going to be connected to them. Being motivated into action through inspiration. Don't overestimate your capabilities. So basically not doing something to prove to anyone that you can, but do what it is that you want to do for you. Mercury conjunction Venus. This is great for romantic meetings, the receipt of great news, wanting to explain with words, wanting to explain your feelings through words. So if you're going on business or social meetings or on a date around this time, just know that the communication is connected to an energy at that moment to be pleasant. if you realize that around the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 24th, that you go on, a social gather, if you go to a social gathering or on a date and you're not feeling that energy, then obviously, one, they're not in alignment to what the cosmos are doing at this time. And you already heard the message here. Mercury is conjunct to Venus, so this should bring about pleasant communication. If it's not, then this is something for you to take note of, that from here on out, you don't even got to explain yourself about what's going on in the world. This is somebody who has to go through a certain path of challenges to even get to where you're at, to even hear what you're saying. So you don't want to be just talking to your face is blue and shit. Then you got Mercury trine Pluto, which brings forth deeper communications. Yeah. See, some of you could also reconnect with someone from the past while Mercury is retrograde. And if this isn't happening, that's going to be a deal breaker for most of y'all. If it ain't, it's because you're allowing yourself to not do what it is that your heart is guiding you to do. Mars trine Saturn up until 5 days, but also 2 to 3 days before. Great time to plan long-term tasks. The actions you take around this time could result in stable results. And this could also be a time where you close out certain cycles with older people in your bloodline or authority figures. Being disciplined or sure about what it is that you want to do can also be a great benefit to you. 927. So communication and self-worth is quite on key here. So from now till the 27th of September, you want to make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who have great communication habits. Even the communication you have with yourself, because everyone that you communicate with external to you has some form of feedback, depending on where you're at in your spiritual level, because some of you on your spiritual journey, because some of you may actually be here as a direct guidance by source to connect to certain people that you may have to uplift by just being in your presence. There's nothing more you have to do to that. There's just be in the presence of it. But this could also be a test for you to see the way you would respond or react to the situation, to see if you can be given more authority. That's if you're on that path of remembering who you are. Some of you know exactly who you are, but there's still tests of that too. There's still cycles of that too. There's always a cycle to everything. We're in the realm of cycles. So that's inevitable. One is not better than the other, because there could be first floor apartments that look way better than the top floor apartments. So it's that type of energy. Some of you are literally where you're at because you're supposed to be there for the reason you came here. You ask source, I want to come back to this realm to be inspired, to make change, or to do something differently that reflects my soul. And when you're reactivating soul memory, this could be from ages ago, before all this conception of slavery too. Some of you go through certain moments of what the fucks because you come from a period where unconditional love didn't have to be explained the way it is now. So there's something, again, like I said, about the scent, the smell of things around you that is connecting you to the Holy Trinity, your full on sight. Because the eyes are prominent here with the third eye. And that connection to Sirius as well. Right under that, you have unconditional love with divine will, godlike soul authority, or God soul authority. And caution is needed here as you are astral traveling, because I feel like some of you are getting to a higher space or a higher realm while still living in this physical reality, that it's important for you to ground your light. But nonetheless, celebrate, because you have a lot of choices due to you expanding your mind and senses. A lot of transformations here. You got 333. A lot of transformations to get you to a point of being fearless. Some of you even had a vision or stepped into a dream state where all you saw was these white corridors. But you was really out there. You was really out there. You got to a space where there was so much light that at the tip of it is nothing but darkness. But this darkness I'm talking about is more so that light that you encountered in that vision was more so like the center of a galaxy. That if you went towards the end of that center, you would end up in this window space of seeing the entire space of where that galactic center is. I don't know who the fuck that was for, but okay. Shout out to you. Just make sure you ground yourself. Just make sure you ground yourself, because you can find yourself with a lot of headaches that you can't even explain if it's a headache. It just feels like your head is somewhere else. But yes, that is your message, beloved. I will see you next time.